Alright, hello everyone. I am back with another video, and this time I came across an article, an old article, a very old article from 1973, and it was New York Times, and the title of the article was Jehovah's Witnesses, a mini conglomerate that self-sustains. It was written by Nadine Brozin, B-R-O-Z-O-N, and the article was about how the Watchtower and Tract Society functioned excuse me functioned, being self-sufficient. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this is because I remember being a young teenager, and I was able to go to be a part of a quick build for Kingdom Hall, and being 17, and that was fun. I have to admit, that was a lot of fun. I actually learned how to lay tile and watch the Kingdom Hall get built, and all the way to finish, to where I actually went and had a meeting in it. And this is when I lived in Colorado, and that was a lot of fun. And that also pressed in my mind that this is awesome, because they were also talking about, this is how it's going to be in paradise. We're going to help each other build our own homes. We're going to help each other, because they preach having your own home, not having to be homeless, and everybody having what they need. So that impressed upon my mind, watching everyone come together, work together, and skill sets being taught. So that impressed upon me too. It's like, well, I'm gonna stay a Jehovah's Witness, and I'm going to then I was doing a lot of pioneer hours. I was not classified as a pioneer, but I was out in service all the time. And I was actually working with a bunch of other teenagers. So it was a bunch of us teenagers between the ages of 15 up to like 21, 22 years old. And we were all working, spending a lot of time out in service together, and a lot of time together. This is when I lived in Colorado. And so with that group, that really impressed upon me, I'm going to be a pioneer. And also at that time, they were, I remember seeing videos, I don't remember the exact dates, but the society at that time was putting out videos about Bethel in New York. And they showed the living situation, like the little mini apartments that they had, or dormitory sized rooms, and they showed the kitchen part of it, and the food, and how the food's being made, and dinner being served, and then everyone coming together, having their meetings together, whether it be Thursday night meetings or Tuesday night Bible study meetings, and the Sunday meetings. And then they also showed in that video, studying, how you could go and you can go sit and you can go study, because all the books and all the material you needed was in this, like library area. And that, I thought, this is great. This is perfect, because I loved studying, studious kind of kid. Mind you, with the religion, I only studied the material that was given to me. I didn't study anything else, but I did, make sure my watchtowers were done and prepared, and things like that, so that I could participate. So with all that, I was like, that's exactly what I want to do. I want to go to Bethel. I want to live at Bethel. And so I put that out as something I wanted to do. And the lady that I was studying with, I had mentioned to her that I also did want to also go to college. I did want to go to college because I wanted to have some type of skill set, because my goal was, if I go to Bethel, I wanted to work in the office aspect of it. I wanted to be at a desk somewhere working. But I even told myself I didn't care what they gave me, as long as I could go. But I did want to have a degree of some sort, working in the offices. So, but she actually, believe it or not, she said, don't worry about going to college. College is not necessary, because all you have to do is find you a good brother and get married. That's what she told me. So even though there was a part of me was like, but I I did decide to go to college anyway. She wasn't quite pleased with me, but I had got accepted at Colorado State University. And so I decided to get an accounting degree. So that's what I had done with that. But I still had in my mind that I would eventually make it to Bethel. And so, yeah, so they put the video out about what Bethel was like. And then I remember later on also there was a video on about like the farm and what they were purchasing more land and, you know, the expansion that they were doing. And I thought, oh, how great that is also. So I'm saying all this to say that all the volunteer labor that we were encouraged to give, they painted this beautiful, awesome, wonderful pre-paradise picture. And I call it pre-paradise pictures because, you know, living on paradise was supposed to be absolutely perfect. No sickness, no health, you know, no death, right? All the food that you could eat, you know, your own home, everything's perfect. Mind you, that definitely was something that sold me even as a young child because I came in as a child. And that was something I wanted to hurry up and happen. So to think that I could kind of have my pre-paradise here before Armageddon happened, I was like, yeah, I'm sold on it. I'm going to be a Bethelite. I'm going to be a full-time pioneer. I'm going to make that happen. But mind you, fast forward, I didn't make it to Bethel. Other things got in the way of me making it to Bethel. And so I did witness other people who were Bethelites who, I want to say unfortunately, things happen. They get married and a sister gets pregnant. So if a sister gets pregnant at Bethel, you're not allowed to live at Bethel anymore because children aren't at Bethel. It's only adults and adults only. So if you get pregnant, you and your husband have to leave. Or if you're a sister, well, obviously you get pregnant, you still have to leave. But anyway, you have to leave. So mind you, some Bethelites, like if I had followed that sister's advice and never got a college education, just went straight there right out of high school, mind you, I had little jobs, you know, McDonald's, or I worked in the library for a while, little jobs like that. And but if I'd gone straight from there, I wouldn't have had any skill set other than the sisters mainly were the cooking, the cleaning, a few office positions, probably answering the phone and maybe typing something. And then if I worked on a farm, things like that. So trade skill sets, basically trade skills. And when I'm a 70s baby, so minimum wage was $4.25. That's what you're going to make without an education, college education. And so if I had followed that and something had happened, or I spent majority of my life there, because when you aged out, some people aged out or needed to leave, or you're too sick to stay, so you have to leave. There's no pension. You haven't put anything to the pension system. There is no pension system. You haven't put anything into the SSI. You have nothing in Medicaid or Medicare. You have not put anything into the system so that you can draw anything. So it's really setting you up for failure. They're telling you not to want anything, not to have anything, because Armageddon's coming. And mind you, they had missed at this point 2 marks. And said it was coming, didn't come, said it was coming again. I want to say it was 74, and it didn't come then either. So, yeah, because I think the article said they were prepping for Armageddon. And, but yet, they were prepping for Armageddon, and they had all these things that I'm going to tell you that was in this article, which I thought was ironic too. So, a lot of brothers and sisters, witnesses, they ended up having to leave and struggling. I know of a couple that left, that had to leave because their sister got pregnant. Mind you, her husband that she married had never worked. He didn't have any work history. He had never ever worked because he went straight from high school, straight from his parents' house, straight to Bethel. So his wife gets pregnant. They were only there not even a full year. She got pregnant within their first year there together. They had to leave. So he's the provider, he's the husband. So he needed to come and find a job that was going to pay him enough money to take care of a brand new wife and a brand new baby on the way. She herself had never worked. She was a full-time pioneer. So she grew up, her father was an elder. And so she grew up to where she never had to work. I mean, he provided her car, her father provided her car and everything. So she never worked. She didn't provide for herself. And so then she marries and she goes to Bethel. So neither one of them had any work history, any work experience, any skill set, no college education. So they both have to leave and then have to try to provide for themselves. Mind you, this brother became bitter. He said this is not what he had wanted. He did not want to marry and have to leave Bethel. He wanted to stay there forever. He became resentful and that marriage ended. But he couldn't go back to Bethel. So after all that, I don't know what happened to that couple. I just know that after the marriage ended, we just didn't see him anymore. So with that, I'm saying that it set you up for serious failure, whether you're young and you end up with a pregnancy, or whether you become sick and then you can't take care of yourself and they let you go because you're sick. And then if you age out because now you're too old, and then you end up having to leave and you have nothing to fall back on. You don't have a home, because they discourage purchasing homes, because they're like, don't purchase a home because Armageddon's coming. You're going to, that's being materialistic. You're trying to make roots here. When Armageddon's coming, you don't need it anyway. Just find you somewhere to rent. Don't purchase a home. And mind you, you're not going to work the rest of your life. So you're going to need something that you own, a home of something, somewhere to go, a little shack or something. But they were completely discouraged from doing those things because it was being classified as materialistic. So, and then no financial education. If you did have some kind of money, or a family that had something, to put that money set aside in a 401k, a Roth IRA, a annuity, some type of just a savings account, just something that you could live off of if something happens. From my understanding in the article, it said they only got $14 a month. 1973, $14 a month allowance. $14 a month. A month, not a week, not a day, a month to work off. And they want to say that it was not setting you up for poverty. There was, I actually saw this, a form called it's a form that people who went to Bethel had to fill out, saying that if they got a job or owned anything, that they would have to turn it over. And I also heard of where growing up, where people would have insurance policies and they would sign it over to the Watchtower and Tract Society, or even if they had land, they would will their land and things to the Watchtower and Tract Society. So there would be those who would come into the truth or already own something, and they would leave everything to the Watchtower and Tract Society. So they acquired property, they acquired money through insurance policies. And so they want to say that I know I put a video out called Vow of Poverty, and want to say that that's not true. It is true. Those things those things did happen. Like I said, the Jehovah's Witness organization today is not what I grew up with or what I witnessed. They still got a lot of that going on, but the things that I witnessed and the things that I saw are why Jehovah's Witnesses have left, or why Jehovah's Witnesses now don't have anything. Some of them are very poor. Some of them aren't, because they might have come in and already had a situation going on, or they were blessed enough to have a family going, we're living in the real world, we also have to have a means to take care of ourselves. But there were those who didn't get that education. And so there's some witnesses are living in poverty because they're waiting on Armageddon. So this article, I was quite surprised with what they had and how much they had. Mind you, I did visit the New York branch. I was able to walk through and see it and all that, and loved it. I was like, this is like this is paradise on earth right now. So in this article, it was talking about all that they owned. So they produced their own beef, their own dairy. They had herds of cows, hogs, and chickens. They had fields of wheat, corn, and oats. They had greenhouses with tomatoes, lettuce, potatoes, onions, beans, carrots, squash, apples, and peaches. Now, mind you, all of this was farmed by free volunteer labor, free labor. Well, I guess the $14 a month that they got was something, but free labor. It was 1,700 acres of land. They had their own cannery, and they had milking cows. So they had 92 cows that they had state-of-the-art technology and state-of-the-art equipment for what was considered 1973, to where they said they were able to milk 92 cows in 2 hours. Mind you, the quality of beef that they had Hereford cows, Angus cows, and it says Charlos cattle. I don't know what brand. I've heard of Angus and Hereford. I hadn't heard of the other. But they had the top of the top, the best of the best. Now, mind you, they also said that in the farm, I think I mentioned they also had a cannery. And so they were making sure that everything that they had was provided. There was also an article where this one brother was talking about how they were acquiring more land and building more Bethelite sites. And so they had, the free meals, grew their own food, free laundry, free cleaning services. So all their needs were taken care of. They didn't have to worry about stressing to go to work or healthcare or anything like that. And I'm also talking about the governing body, the people who were over all of this. So they had no stress level. Everything is being taken care of from them. And then money was coming in by the thousands and by the millions from all the money that was voluntarily given. Right. And I used to say, we don't do like the other churches. We're not going to ask for tax information and all that and force you to pay. It's all what you can give from the heart. But going back to them telling us that we don't need to think about material things and to have just enough to survive and wait on paradise. So one of the men that was talking in this article, when they had acquired a building and it was becoming dated and they needed to upgrade it, he said some of the residents' housing was built in the 60s and the 70s. Much of it was dormitory style. We are trying to upgrade the living quarters. It is a quality of life issue, he said. The parking and support services go along with that, because they were also going to build gyms and recreation centers and things like that. And they were spending $2 million to upgrade this particular building. And they said it is a quality of life issue. So they were making sure that they were living in the best possible situation, period, but encouraging the members who weren't a part of Bethel or the Watchtower and Tract Society to not want the best. Just work with what you can. Not own anything. Mind you, they were purchasing properties. They were leasing properties. But we weren't supposed to purchase properties. We're supposed to just rent until Armageddon. And hope that Armageddon comes before we get too old to do anything about it. They literally were living the best of best. They knew where their food was coming from. They knew where their meat was coming from. They were being served and taken care of by people they trusted, because all your livelihood's being taken care of by people who have vowed to treat people the way you want to be treated. So I was just thinking of how ironic it was that they encourage their members to not be materialistic. Well, to me, they were living a very materialistic lifestyle. I won't call it materialistic. They were living very, very well. They were living like high off the hog. Literally. Like literally. And I can remember I fell for it, myself. I was like, that's perfect. It's like having, it's like kind of living paradise before paradise got here. Because all your needs are met. Everything's taken care of. But mind you, there was, conditions to it. Didn't know that part until much later. Well, that's what I wanted to talk about this video. about. It's basically really, really hypocritical that they were living high off the hog and encourage their members to not want or strive for anything because Armageddon's coming. All right, well, thank you for listening, and I appreciate all my new subscribers and all your views and all your questions and all your comments. And I've been trying to get back with everyone, but thank you again for listening to me, and those that are encouraging me. I appreciate it wholeheartedly, and I look forward to making another video for you. Thank you.